Next up on WTV, Teacher of the Year, this week's edition of Real Talk, and today's Sports Minute. WTV's Daily Update starts now. Good morning, Red Hawk Nation. Today's Friday, December 6th, and I'm Cooper Ragle with today's Daily Update, brought to you by Wingspan TV. The search for Frisco's Teacher of the Year continues, with every school in the district having made their selection. WTV's Stone Weber has the details.
Pre-AP and AP Biology teacher Chris Ham was voted Teacher of the Year by his colleagues earlier this year. Staff members on campus made nominations earlier this year with a small pool of teachers being named finalists. Ham believes all members of the school should have a say in who is the Teacher of the Year.
Well, it's a democratic process, so all the teachers nominated who they thought was the best teacher, and it turns out I got the most votes. So yeah, it just means that your peers acknowledge that you work hard and you embody the beliefs, the philosophy of our district and our campus.
Ham believes all members of the school should have a say in who is the Teacher of the Year.
That's difficult, right? Because teaching is such an art. Like some people teach differently, and it's hard to tell like who's the best teacher, because like who's the best artist. It's just like it's such an interpretive act. So I think the students should have a say in that too, right? Because students feel like, I learned the most in this teacher's class. So
from here, Ham will submit an application, 2 essay responses, and 2 letters of recommendation. Once all those are received from every Teacher of the Year, an elementary school and secondary school teacher will be chosen by a selection committee as the Frisco ISD's Teacher of the Year. Winners will be announced in April. Reporting for Wingspan TV, I'm Stone Weber.
Band students are getting ready to start the audition process for All-State. WTV's Lewis Staten has the details.
The region audition process begins Saturday, and all students of all grade levels are hoping for a chance to advance all the way to state.
Because I've never actually experienced state before, I do have experience from all region from middle school, and it was pretty competitive because there are a lot of other people who are also trying to get into state who also practiced a lot.
I'm really not sure what to expect because I'm going in a different division than last year. Last year I went to 5A, which is for the smaller schools. This year I'm going to 6A, which is for big schools like Plano, and they have a lot of good musicians.
Putting in the work can be crucial when auditioning for an advanced ensemble.
We have 2 technical pieces and 1 lyrical piece. The 2 technical pieces, one of them is meant to be like musical but technical, so it's like fast fingering but like a lot of slurs. And for the other technical pieces, you have to really make sure you're doing the accents, and the lyrical pieces, you have to make sure you're like in tune and playing musically.
Reporting for WTV, I am Lewis Staten.
On this week's edition of Real Talk, WTV's Sydney Andros hits the halls to ask students about what makes a good teacher.
This is WTV's Sydney Andros with this week's edition of Real Talk, and recently Mr. Ham was named Teacher of the Year. So today we're going to hit the halls and ask students about what makes a good teacher. What makes a good teacher?
I think a good teacher is someone who actually cares about what they're teaching their students and actually has fun with it.
They have to be able to understand the students and be able to relate to them in some way.
Someone that's like chill and that pushes you to learn more.
A good teacher is one who listens to their students.
How can a teacher impact a student?
Well, they impact them a lot. Like, they're teaching our new generation.
They're around us pretty much almost every day. So really, if they just take the time and try to get to know the students more, it could possibly make that student's day, and especially if they try to relate to them in some way or form.
Teacher can help you find a subject that you're interested in.
With this week's edition of Real Talk, this has been WTV's Sydney Andros.
On today's Sports Minute, WTV's Walker Shippey gives you a preview of girls basketball.
Boys basketball played their first 2 games of the Mansfield ISD Spring Creek Barbecue Classic yesterday versus Mansfield High School and A&M Consolidated. In their first game, the Redhawks fought hard through both halves. However, the Redhawks fell to Mansfield 50-48. In their second game, the Redhawks stayed on top of the A&M Consolidated Tigers through the half, finishing the game with a final score of 70-61 Liberty. The win and loss moved the Redhawks on to play 2 games today, with opponent, place, date, and time to be determined. Girls wrestling competes tonight in the Coppell Cowgirl Classic. The girls and boys also compete this weekend in the Liberty Wrestling Throwdown. The Cowgirl Classic starts this afternoon at 4 o'clock at Coppell High School. The Liberty Throwdown begins this Saturday at 8 a.m. going until 4:30 at the Nest. Girls basketball plays their second district game of the season tonight versus the Heritage Coyotes. The team is coming off a 36-31 win to Lebanon Trail on Tuesday. The girls are looking to boost their district record to 2-0 with a win tonight at 6:30 at Heritage. For WTV Sports, this is Walker Shippey.
If you're looking for more from Wingspan, you can follow us at Liberty Wingspan on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our award-winning website, libertywingspan.com. And now for today's announcements. The deadline to submit FEF scholarship application is Friday, December 20th, 2019 at 4 p.m. No exceptions to the deadline. To be considered for any scholarship awarded through the Frisco Education Foundation, an FISD senior must submit the FEF scholarship application by the deadline. Frisco ISD has created an alumni network that can be joined upon graduation. Sign up today by using the QR code below. HOSA and Carter Blood Care is hosting a blood drive on Tuesday, November 10th. Sign up in all lunches until Monday, December 9th. Each donor will get 2 volunteer hours. Donors must be at least 16 years old, weigh at least 110 pounds, and cannot have traveled out of the country in the past year. Please bring your ID and a signed parent permission form if you're 16 years old. That's it for today's Daily Update. This is Cooper Ragle with Wingspan TV.